In just a moment, I'm going to show you a reliable set of steps to fix bad credit fast. This video is for you if you have no credit, bad credit, or just want to boost your scores as high as humanly possible. Probably similar to you, my parents never told me about the importance of good credit or what it takes to boost your credit. And the truth is that having bad credit is downright expensive. Not only are you denied for the best credit cards out there, but you also get the worst terms on car loans and home loans, or may not be able to qualify at all for a car loan, home loan, or an apartment. I'm on a mission to change that, and by the end of this video, you will know the simple steps you need to take to fix and boost your credit score fast. The best part about it is that all of the steps are absolutely free. And you know what else is free? You helping the channel out by hitting that like button on this video so that more people can see and benefit from this video. But seriously, follow the steps and you are sure to boost your score in no time. And if you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment below. Let's get into it. Step number 1, pull credit reports. Before doing anything else, you must know where you are and what you have to work with. You can pull your credit report from all 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, for free by going to annualcreditreport.com. I've also found that you can view your credit report for free by visiting the official sites for each credit bureau and starting a dispute online. Lastly, you can view your credit report by signing up for a credit monitoring service such as Credit Karma. In short, you shouldn't have to pay to get a credit report. The purpose is to find out what items in your credit report are causing your scores to be so low. Now, make sure you get a credit report for all 3 credit bureaus. Generally, they will contain the same information, but they tend to show and report different things on each one. For example, you may have a collection on one report that does not show up on another, and that is something you don't want to miss. Step number 2, check for errors. Nearly 25% of all credit reports contain errors that may be harming your credit score without you even knowing. So now that you have your report, here are the errors you want to look out for. The first is wrong personal information. Think name misspellings, wrong addresses, and things of that nature. Next is missing accounts. Those will be on-time payments that are not showing. This is a huge one. Then there are accounts that do not belong to you, incorrect dates, false inquiries, incorrect bankruptcies and foreclosures, duplicate accounts, incorrect account statuses, delinquencies, or derogatory remarks. Think about closed accounts when they're supposed to be open, or late 90 days when it should only be late 60 days. You want to look out for things like that. Now, once you've identified errors, make note of them, as we will learn in a second how to get rid of them. All right, step number 3, check for negative marks. Here, I want you to make note of all the derogatory marks that actually belong to you. I'll be showing you the best method to resolve these negative marks in just a moment, so start by looking for these items. First is no credit history or very little history at all. We've all heard the phrase, it takes credit to build credit. Wait, I think that had to do with money, but either way, it's true for credit as well. To get a FICO score, you need to have at least 6 months of credit history and 1 credit bureau reporting your activity. To get the highest credit scores, you will need to have credit for at least 7 years. Next, look for any late payments. These are payments that are typically not reported late until 30 days after your due date and will be in your credit report for 7 years. Then I want you to pay attention to any collections. Collections hurt your score a lot and is basically unpaid debt that is sold to collection agencies for pennies on the dollar. You know, the ones that call you all day and night from 20 different numbers. Collections typically happen after 5 to 6 months of late payments and stay on your report for 7 years. Next, look for account charge-offs. After a period of time, after you fail to resolve the debt or simply cannot pay it, the lender will simply call it a wash, aka a charge-off. Account charge-offs stay on your report for 7 years. Next up is high utilization. When it comes to your credit score, high utilization is considered using more than 30% of your total credit limit available. Then there's repossessions. When you can't pay for an item such as a car, the lender has the right to repossess the item, aka come get it back from you. Repossessions will stay on your credit report for 7 years. Then there is student loan delinquency or default. Man, I can make a whole video about student loans, but just know that private student loans that are late by more than 30 days can show up on your credit report, and student loans that are late more than 90 days can show up as well. Student loan delinquencies stay on your report for 7 years. Then we have bankruptcy. Different forms of bankruptcy will stay on your credit report for different lengths of time. Chapter 13 bankruptcy will stay on your credit report for 7 years, and Chapter 7 bankruptcy will stay on your report for 10 years. Lastly, we have foreclosures, which occur when the bank takes the house back after failing to make payments. Foreclosures stay on your report for 7 years. Okay, so we know what to fix. Let's talk about how to fix it. Here's exactly what to do. First, with how to fix errors. If you see items on your report that are not accurate or not yours, you have the right to dispute it. You can dispute anything you see with each individual credit reporting agency, either in writing or online using the dispute forms on their website. Credit reporting agencies are required to verify that information with the creditor within 30 days by law. If the errors cannot be verified, it must be deleted. So simple rule, not yours or not accurate, dispute it. Heck, even if it is accurate, you should try and dispute it anyway. Many creditors won't go through the hassle of verifying, and you may get an easy removal just by trying. Now, I'm not necessarily recommending it, but there is literally no harm in trying. Alright, say you have no credit history or a short credit history. If you have a short credit history, do these 4 things to help your credit score. The first thing is to take out a secured credit card. Secured credit cards require a cash deposit, which then acts as your credit line. Meaning if you deposit $200, your line of credit will be $200. The good news is that secured credit cards report on your credit report, which can improve your payment history and your length of credit. Once your credit is improved enough, you can ask the credit card issuer to convert the secured credit card into a regular credit card. And the best part about it is that your account will remain during the transfer, keeping your length of credit in place. The second thing you can do is to get a credit builder loan. Credit builder loans were made to actually help those with little to no credit history, or those with bad credit in general. To qualify, they don't require you to have good credit to get approved, but do require you to have the income necessary for repayment. The third thing you can do is become an authorized user on someone's credit card. This means that you are not responsible for the payments, but the account is reported on your credit report. So it's best to become an authorized user with someone you know has good credit building habits, as both the positive and the negatives will be reported. Also, make sure that the bank actually reports authorized user activity to the credit bureaus. Most do, but some do not. According to NerdWallet, here are the banks that do report. The fourth thing you can do is report non-debt items on your credit report. Most people don't know this, but you can actually request that your on-time rent payments show up on your Experian credit report. And that's done through Experian Rent Bureau. You can do this by simply asking your landlord or using a third-party rent payment service. Additionally, you can sign up for Experian Boost, which can add up to 24 months of positive telephone, utility, and streaming device payments to your Experian credit report. Pretty cool, right? Next, we have late payments. Okay, let's talk about what you can do to improve your credit if you have late payments. The first thing you will want to do is make a payment as soon as possible. I know, duh, but hear me out. Payment history is the most important part of your credit score, making up 35% of your total score and making it the fastest way to help or hurt your score. And the longer a payment is late, the more it hurts your score, because 180 days late is worse than being 90 days late, which is worse than being 30 days late. I understand that paying might not be the most immediate thing you can do, but as soon as possible, at a minimum, make a minimum payment. The second thing you can do is ask for what's called a goodwill adjustment. You'd be surprised how far you can get by simply asking a creditor to remove late payments as a goodwill gesture. It works especially well after being on time for quite a while, as it proves good faith. To do this, just call or mail the creditor a forgiveness letter explaining your situation. Here's a template that you can use. The best thing that can happen is just a question away. The third thing you can do is negotiate removal by signing up for auto payments. Does this really work? Yes, it can, and it is worth it to try, but only attempt this knowing you will have the funds to cover the automatic payment. Now, let's discuss high utilization rates. If you have a high utilization rate, meaning over 30% on a monthly basis, lowering it to under 30% can improve your scores dramatically. Here are a few ways to do it. The first thing you can do is ask your issuer when they report. Many credit card companies report your balance and payment history every 30 days, but the day they report is not always the same as your bill due date. It could be before or after, which means you could be paying off your bill on time and still show a high utilization rate. To help fight this, ask your credit card issuer what day they report to the credit card agencies. Armed with the correct date, you will know when and how often to pay your credit card, so you always show the best utilization percentage. The second thing you can do is ask for an increased credit limit. There are times when your credit card issuer will raise your credit limit without you even having to request it, but it doesn't happen often. So, to take matters into your own hands by asking for an increase either online or via phone. By increasing your credit limit, you automatically decrease your utilization rate. Note that there may be qualifications to getting an increase accepted, as well as a hard inquiry, so make sure you have a good chance of qualifying before risking the hard inquiry. The third thing you can do is to ask to be an authorized user on someone's credit card. If someone with a consistently great payment history and utilization rate allows you to be an authorized user on their account, it automatically helps your utilization rate as well. The fourth thing you can do is open a new credit card. When you get a new credit card, you increase your credit limit and therefore decrease your total utilization. The downside of applying for a new credit card is that it will likely result in a hard inquiry and can affect your average length of credit if accepted. Now, I don't typically suggest this route unless you have a very long credit history and the ability to qualify for a card. A bonus tip for your utilization is to not close unused cards. Closing a card can result in a lower credit limit, which pushes your utilization up and can lower your average length of credit if you had the card for a while. All right, let's talk about charge-offs and collections. If you hate charge-offs and collections, you are not alone. Here are a few ways to deal with them on your credit report. The first thing you should do is dispute it if there's an error. You want to check for things such as a wrong account number, outdated status, wrong date of delinquency, or a date past 7 years ago. If any of these things appear, go ahead and file a dispute based on the incorrect information. As mentioned previously, in many cases, creditors and collection agencies are too lazy to fight the dispute. The second thing you can do is ask for a goodwill deletion. When dealing with charge-offs and collections, ask and you shall receive. Sometimes, go ahead and send a letter to the original creditor explaining your situation and asking them to remove the collection or charge-off. A well-written one that points to a specific circumstance may get it removed for you. This usually works best after you have paid the debt. The third thing you can do is write a pay for delete letter. That's right. Try sending the charge-off creditor or collection agency a pay for delete letter that explains that you will pay the debt if they remove it from your credit report. Think about it. They need you just as much as you need them. If you don't pay, they don't make money on their purchased debt. It's not guaranteed to work, but it's definitely a win-win scenario and something you should definitely try. The fourth thing you can do is ask for a lower payoff. Remember, most debt is bought for pennies on the dollar, meaning the collection agency will likely attempt to recover the total amount even though they bought it at a much lower discount. Always, and I mean always, ask for a payoff to be reduced if you decide to pay the collection or a charge-off. Explain that you don't have the money to pay the amount, and if they are willing to take a number lower than, say, 50% of the debt. Once again, they need you to pay to make money, so this tactic nearly always works. Just know that paying off a charge-off or collections will have a minimal impact on your credit score, but can help in getting a goodwill letter accepted and qualifying for other loans and lines of credit in the future. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you're close to your 7-year mark when the collection may be removed, it may not make financial sense to pay the debt off. Something to consider. Then there's student loan delinquency, repossessions, bankruptcies, and foreclosures. For those negative remarks, getting them removed is nearly impossible. The first thing you can do is dispute all incorrect information. You will want to comb through these with a fine-tooth comb, as information being wrong is your best bet for a miracle removal. If you do find something that is wrong, dispute it. The second thing you can do is simply wait for them to be removed from your credit report. Remember, most of them should be removed in 7 years, with the exception of Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which stays on your credit report for 10 years. The best thing that you can do is work to improve everything else. This means working overtime to improve your payment history, your utilization rate, your mix of credit, and your inquiry count. Now, here are 3 extra tips to help you even more with fixing your credit. Tip number 1, visit the credit repair subreddit on reddit.com. If you never heard of Reddit, it is the world's largest forum where people come together to discuss certain topics. In this case, credit repair. As of the time of this video, the credit repair subreddit called cReddit has over 73,000 members and hundreds of posts with people just like you detailing exactly how they fix their credit. Definitely take a look at it if you haven't already. Tip number 2 is to limit the amount of new and closed accounts. As mentioned previously, when you open a new account, you risk ruining the other categories of your credit score, which is length of credit history and inquiries. When you close an account, you also may negatively affect your utilization and length of credit history if the account has been around for, say, a long time. Now, tip number 3 is to use Experian Boost. They are not sponsoring this video, but I do believe that it can be a good tool for improving your credit score. Experian Boost adds up to 24 months of positive cell phone, utility, and streaming device payments to your Experian credit report. If you've been making on-time payments with these accounts, it can provide a major boost to the heaviest weighted category of your credit score, your payment history. Check it out. Well, there you have it, everything you need to know to fix your credit. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button for me. It helps others to find this video on YouTube, and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one. I'm Karan from Life Accounting. Until next time.